You were born knowing. You were born guided. There was a time, before the noise of the world, when your soul walked in complete harmony with the divine. You didn't question. You didn't doubt. You simply knew. The same knowing that once led you through your earliest breath is still there, waiting beneath the surface. It has not left you. You may have forgotten, but your soul has not. Your guidance, your path, your light, it is still within you, as alive as the moment it was placed in your spirit by divine intention. So many walk through life believing they are lost. They search, they wander, they ache, not realizing that what they are looking for is not out there but within. It was never gone. It was never broken. You are not missing anything. You are only remembering. And this remembrance is sacred. It is a return, not a discovery. A return to the truth that you are already connected, already guided, already chosen to walk in peace and power. Fear tells you that you are alone, that you are floating in a vast world without direction. But fear is only a shadow, cast by the mind that has disconnected from the heart. Faith is your compass. Intuition is your map. And your soul, your beautiful, ancient, eternal soul, is the one whispering, you already know the way. When you sit in silence and listen, you will hear it again. That voice, that knowing, that warmth that rises not from outside praise but from inner truth. That is your divine guidance. And it never left you. Not for a moment. You were never meant to navigate life through logic alone. Spiritual intelligence is deeper. It flows beyond facts. It is that pull you feel when something is right, even if it makes no sense. It is the calm in your chest when your heart agrees with heaven, and when you act from that place, when you trust that knowing, you align with miracles, you open the gates of unseen help, you step into divine orchestration, where delays become protection and redirections become sacred upgrades. There is nothing outside of you more powerful than what God has already placed inside you. That spark, that guidance, that deep inner peace that cannot be faked or forced. That is the truth you return to. And the more you return, the clearer the path becomes, like a fog lifting from a familiar road. You realize you were never far, only fogged by doubt, but now clarity rises, and with it peace returns, power returns, purpose returns. You may ask, but how do I hear it again? The answer is simple: stillness, trust, repetition, faith. The world will scream, but your guidance whispers, and you must get quiet to hear it. You must lean into faith even when the mind demands answers. You must loop your truth like a sacred chanting, I am guided. I am protected. I am aligned. Say it until your soul wakes up, until your spirit remembers, until the path in front of you lights up like the morning sun breaking through the forest. You are not lost. You are guided. Even when you take a wrong turn, the divine recalculates. Just like the stars know when to shine and the seasons know when to turn, your soul knows how to return. This is not the end. This is your awakening. The moment you realize that your path was never meant to be perfect. It was meant to be divinely aligned. And alignment begins the moment you surrender control and trust the whisper instead of the noise. Nothing can take away what God has already written into your soul. Not time, not mistakes, not distance. You are still guided. You are still protected. The guidance you feel is not random. It is your soul trying to speak louder than your fear. And the moment you decide to listen, everything begins to shift. Peace comes back. Clarity returns. Doors begin to open. Not because the world changes. Because you remember. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to follow the next right feeling. You don't need to see the whole staircase. Just trust the step that feels like peace. That is the divine whisper. That is the knowing that has carried you this far. That is your soul leading you home. And every time you feel lost again, return to this truth: I am guided. I am never alone. I was born knowing. You may have forgotten, but your soul has not. That's why you still feel those nudges. That's why signs show up when you need them most. That's why the right words find you, even in your darkest hour. Because you are still connected. You are still held. You are still loved by a divine force that never lets go. You were never truly lost, because the map to your destiny has always been etched within your soul. Before the noise of the world clouded your mind, before fear whispered doubt into your heart, before the distractions turned your gaze outward instead of inward, you already knew. That deep knowing, that soft certainty, that silent voice that told you were here for a reason, it never left you. You may have forgotten for a moment, but your soul didn't. You may have questioned, hesitated, doubted, but that inner light was never extinguished. It waited, patiently, because divine timing is never rushed and guidance is never late. It comes when you're quiet enough to feel, still enough to hear, and open enough to receive. You are not wandering. You are being guided. Even when it feels like detours, even when your heart breaks, Even when you are delayed, it's not rejection, it's redirection. And the moment you stop fighting the unknown, the moment you surrender the outcome and rest in divine trust, you will see how everything was always working for you, not against you. The pain was a teacher, the loss was a lesson, the confusion was a call inward, and the silence was sacred. You are not forgotten, you are not forsaken, you are guided, gently, wisely, and always in love. Your soul, long before you began this journey in form, already knew the way. It whispered the truth before you were taught to doubt it. It held the map before you tried to find one outside of yourself. And even now, in moments when you feel lost or uncertain, that inner knowing has never left you. It has never failed you. It simply waits for your return. Like a lighthouse that never turns off its beam, your inner guidance remains steady, unwavering, divine. You may forget the path, but the path does not forget you. You may question your worth, but the divine assignment given to you still stands. What is meant for you is still meant for you, no matter how far you feel you've wandered. So I say to you today, you are not alone in this world, and you are not wandering without direction. The truth is, you've only been distracted by noise. The noise of fear, of pressure, of opinions, of timelines and expectations. But underneath that noise is a soft and sacred stillness, and in that stillness you will hear again. You will remember again. You will realign. The soul remembers. Always. It is not your job to force clarity. It is your invitation to receive it. When the world shouts for urgency, faith whispers patience. When fear urges panic, spirit offers peace. And when you don't know what to do next, do not rush into movement. Instead, pause and allow guidance to rise up from within. Because you are not building a life from scratch. You are revealing what was divinely planted before you even took your first breath. You are unfolding the blueprint that was already written, line by line with perfect wisdom. And every challenge you face is not a punishment, but a prompt. A prompt to return to your knowing. A call to trust again. A reminder to stop outsourcing your power and come back to the infinite supply within. You were never meant to rely solely on logic. You were designed to live by divine logic. By intuition, by inspiration, by inner confirmation. That quiet yes you feel when something aligns. That gentle pause when something feels off. These are not coincidences. They are the signs you once trusted so deeply. And they are still speaking. Are you listening? Can you remember what it felt like to believe in miracles without needing proof? Can you recall a time when your heart trusted before your mind demanded evidence? That was your soul. That is still your soul. And no matter how much noise the world creates, the signal within you cannot be muted. You just need to tune back in. And you don't need a perfect moment to start. You just need a willing one. You may have thought you were walking alone, but your soul has never been without direction. Even in the days when the path seemed hidden by shadows and your heart cried silently for clarity, the light was always there, just waiting for your belief to awaken it. You are not lost. You are not abandoned. You are not disconnected from your source. You are guided, divinely and consistently, even when you forget. Especially when you forget. Because forgetting is a part of remembering. The moment you choose to still your mind and feel the gentle stir of knowing in your chest, you are already back in alignment with your divine direction. There is no detour so far that your spirit cannot guide you home. For your guidance is not in the noise of the world, but in the still whisper that speaks in the language of peace. And every time you pause and listen, you will hear it. Again and again. You are being led. Faith is the invisible map written in the heart. It doesn't need to be seen to be followed. When you walk by faith and not by sight, you are trusting in the truest form of divine guidance. The mind may demand proof, but the soul only seeks confirmation in peace. If it gives you peace, it is from the divine. If it brings you clarity, it is your path. If it feels like home within your heart, it is truth. You don't need to know all the steps. You only need to take the next right one, and then the next, and the next. Your soul will illuminate the road before your feet as you walk, not before you begin. For that is how spiritual guidance works. It requires movement, belief, and surrender. You are divinely held, divinely guided, divinely positioned. All you must do is trust. When doubt creeps in, as it often does, remind yourself that it is not your truth. Doubt is a shadow, but you are light. And shadows cannot survive where light is welcomed. Affirm it aloud: I am guided by divine wisdom. I am led by perfect timing. I trust in the path even when I do not see the full way forward. These are not mere words. These are keys. And every time you speak them, you unlock the doors that fear tried to close. The divine never stopped guiding you. You only stopped listening. But the good news is, it's never too late to begin again. The channel of divine communication is always open. No matter how many times you've turned away, one moment of willingness turns you back. There is no shame in forgetting. Forgetting is part of the sacred process of remembering. Just as winter forgets the warmth of summer, yet spring always returns, so too, your soul remembers its path. The remembrance begins in stillness, in sacred silence, in the deep breath taken before a prayer, in the moment before you surrender, and then it comes. Clarity, insight, nudges, signs, synchronicities. The way is always revealed, not forced. Divine guidance does not shout, it whispers, but it always speaks. And when you listen with your heart, you will always know which way to go. You are not required to figure everything out. You are simply asked to trust that what is meant for you is being arranged, prepared, and delivered at the perfect time. Sometimes, the path looks different from what you imagined. That does not mean you are off course. It means the divine sees farther than you. You asked for growth, and so you are being stretched. You asked for wisdom, and so you are being refined. You asked for strength, and so you are walking through fire that will not consume you but will awaken you. Do not resist it. Do not resent it. Let it shape you. Let it teach you. Let it guide you deeper into who you truly are. A spiritual being with an unlimited connection to divine mind. There is no power outside of you greater than the power within you. Because the power within you is God in action. You are not here to be tossed by the winds of chance. You are here to command your destiny with faith. Declare this with me: I am guided by the divine. My steps are ordered. I move in perfect harmony with my highest good. I do not chase, I attract. I do not fear, I trust. I do not force, I flow. These words are not fantasy, they are spiritual law. And when spoken with conviction, they rearrange the circumstances of your life. You will begin to notice. People show up, doors open, delays disappear. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. When you are aligned with divine truth, the whole universe cooperates with your intention. What once seemed like coincidence becomes confirmation. You begin to feel the sacred choreography of your life unfolding with ease. That is how guidance works. It doesn't scream. It synchronizes. Your soul has known from the very beginning what you came here to do. You came to live in truth, to walk in love, to speak light into dark places. You came not just to survive, but to thrive through the guidance of spirit. The world may tell you that you are unworthy, that you need to hustle, to prove, to earn your value. But the divine says, you are already worthy, you are already chosen, you are already guided. And so, the moment you stop trying to force your way forward and simply align with your inner truth, you become unstoppable. Not because of effort, but because of embodiment. You are embodying your divine blueprint, and nothing is more powerful than a soul aligned with its purpose. When confusion clouds your mind, return to peace. Peace is the language of the soul. And the soul always knows, always. It knows before your mind catches up. It knows before circumstances make sense. It knows even when the world disagrees. And that knowing, that quiet certainty within, is your guidance system. Trust it, follow it, honor it. Let it lead you back to the place where miracles are not just possible, they are expected. That is your birthright, to live in divine flow, led by grace, fueled by faith. And when you forget, do not despair. Simply return to the truth: I am still guided. I am still loved. I am still held in the arms of infinite wisdom. No door that is meant for you can be shut by man. No opportunity that belongs to you can be stolen. What is divinely guided to you will find you. When you are in position, position is not physical, it is spiritual. It is the place of faith, the place of surrender, the place of willingness to be led. You are not required to understand everything today. You are only asked to say yes to divine guidance. That yes is enough. It opens the door for heaven to intervene, for angels to assist, for paths to appear where there once only walls. This is not fantasy. It is faith in action. Your soul remembers what your mind forgets. And your remembering begins now. Let today be the day you return to the quiet knowing that lives inside you. Let today be the moment you declare, I trust my inner guidance. I follow divine direction. I walk in peace, and peace surrounds me. This is how you recalibrate your path. This is how you align with the highest timeline for your life. No more fear, no more doubt, no more delay. You are being led, beloved. Every breath is a reminder. Every still moment is an invitation. Every closed door is protection. Every detour is divine redirection. You are safe. You are surrounded by invisible forces working for your good. Trust the process. Follow the peace. You are guided. You may feel uncertain today, as though the path has vanished beneath your feet. But beloved, the truth is your soul is still walking that path. Even when your mind has forgotten the way, there is something within you that knows beyond logic, remembers beyond experience, and trusts beyond sight. That something is your divine connection, the eternal spark placed within you by infinite intelligence, and it cannot be extinguished by time, fear, or doubt. This is not a new journey, it is a homecoming. Every moment you pause and listen, every time you silence the noise of fear, every whisper of intuition is your soul reminding you that you are being guided. You are never left alone. And though the outer world tries to teach you that you must hustle, grind, and control everything, your true power was always in surrender. Divine law does not operate through panic. It unfolds through peace. The moment you believe that you are guided, you align yourself with miracles. Fear is the shadow cast by forgetting who walks with you, but faith is the light that burns that shadow away. And this light is not something you must chase. It is something you allow. This is your reminder. The answers are not outside of you. They were planted inside you the moment you were created. You are not seeking direction. You are remembering direction. You are not becoming guided. You are uncovering the truth that you have always been guided. What if everything happening now is part of your remembering? What if the delay is divine redirection? What if the closed door was protection? You do not need to force what is meant for you. The path of the soul is not pushed. It is revealed, and it is revealed when you trust. Trust even when you cannot see. Trust even when it hurts. Trust even when the voice of fear gets loud, because the voice of truth never shouts. It whispers. And that whisper is your compass. The whisper that says, rest now, let go. You are safe. You are loved. You are guided. You are not here to figure it all out. You are here to follow the light inside, one step at a time. You may not know where it leads, but the divine does. That is enough. The way will open as you walk. The bridge will appear beneath your feet. The doors will open not because you fought, but because you believed. And even when nothing seems to move, the energy is shifting behind the scenes. Just because it is not visible does not mean it is not real. Just because you do not hear answers does not mean the universe is silent. There is guidance coming to you in ways you do not yet recognize. It may look like a delay, a detour, a disappointment. But in divine law, there are no accidents. Everything is orchestrated with precision, and your job is not to control the timing. Your job is to align with the energy of trust. You are being called back to that place inside you that never forgot. The quiet knowing, the sacred faith, the deep remembering that there is a purpose in all things. Even the waiting, you see, even the silence has meaning. Even the stillness is filled with instruction. Because when the world grows quiet, your soul begins to speak again. It speaks not with noise but with knowing. Not with fear, but with assurance. Your intuition is the language of the divine, gently reminding you that you are never walking alone. And every time you honor that inner nudge, no matter how small, you affirm that you trust the higher wisdom moving through you. That is where miracles are born. Not through control, but through cooperation with the unseen. You are not meant to hustle for your worth. You are meant to receive your divine inheritance. And guidance is part of that inheritance. You are the child of a boundless source. It is impossible for you to be abandoned. Even when you stray from the path curves back toward you. Because you are the path, the traveler, and the destination, all in one. You are never off course, you are simply gathering the strength to walk it fully. Everything you think is a delay is actually divine timing protecting the version of you that wasn't ready. Not because you failed, but because the full glory of your destiny requires your full readiness. So breathe, let go of the timeline, let go of the panic. Let go of the need to know every step. The map is already written. Your soul remembers it. You don't need to see the full staircase. Just take the next step. That next step may be rest. It may be a conversation. It may be silence. It may be surrender. Whatever it is, it will never feel like force. It will feel like flow. That is how you know it is from God. That is how you know it is your truth. Because divine guidance never comes to pressure you. It comes to free you. You don't have to strive to be led. You just have to allow it. And the moment you say, I am willing to be guided, everything in the universe moves to support you. Everything begins to align, not by your effort, but by your openness. You don't have to know how. You just have to say yes. You just have to be willing. Willing to release the old beliefs. Willing to trust again. Willing to walk in faith, even when your mind still questions. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to walk anyway. You are not required to be perfect, only present. You are not required to be certain, only sincere. Your soul does not require achievement, it desires alignment. And alignment happens when you stop trying to make life happen and start letting life unfold. You are here to remember, not to strive. You are here to return to the truth, not the truth is. You are already held, already led, already guided, already chosen, already safe, already loved, already enough. There is a deep, quiet wisdom within you that knows which doors to knock on and which ones to walk past. It is not loud, but it is loyal. It does not argue, but it never lies. And even when you ignore it, it waits patiently for your return. This inner guidance has never abandoned you. Not for a moment. It whispered when you doubted. It comforted you when you cried. It gave you dreams that felt too big, not to punish you, but to awaken you to your own power. And you are powerful, not because of how hard you try, but because of how aligned you are when you remember the truth. That truth is simple: you are guided. You are supported. You are never walking blind. Your steps are seen before you take them. You are carried, even when you feel like you're crawling. And in those moments when you feel forgotten by the world, remember that the divine never forgets what it created with love. You were created with love. You were chosen for this journey because you are equipped for it. Even the parts that feel unfamiliar are only unfamiliar to the mind, not the soul. The soul remembers everything: the path, the timing, the purpose. Your only task is to return to that remembrance, to stop trying to figure it out, and instead feel your way forward through trust. Every time you say, "I surrender," you clear space for clarity. Every time you release control, you allow grace to move. You don't need to chase the answers. You simply need to stop blocking the answers with fear. Guidance doesn't shout, it emerges. It rises when you get still enough to hear it. So take time to unplug, to listen, to be. There is more magic in stillness than in striving. And often, the next step comes when you finally stop asking what it is. You are not meant to hustle your way into alignment. You are meant to align your way into abundance, peace, love, joy. And alignment comes from trust. Radical trust that you are held, even when nothing makes sense. That you are moving forward, even when you feel stuck. That you are awakening, even when you feel lost. This is the journey home to yourself. To your soul's knowing, to your eternal guidance. There is no such thing as a lost soul, only a soul that has forgotten what it already knows. You were born with perfect inner guidance, a spiritual GPS that was never turned off, only silenced by noise, fear, and worldly confusion. But guidance is not something that leaves you. It patiently waits until you are ready to hear it again. You may have taken detours, wandered far, felt stuck in the maze of logic and doubt. But the truth is this: your soul has never stopped knowing the way. Each moment of hesitation, each whisper of, "Is this right?" is the soft reminder that your inner compass still ticks. You may not remember the exact path, but your soul does. You are still guided. You are always being nudged toward the light, even when you think you're lost in the dark. Divine guidance does not scream, it gently pulls. It's that strange peace in the middle of chaos, that hunch that comes without proof, that dream that stirs you awake with clarity. That is your soul speaking. That is God within you, whispering, "Do this way." When you trust it, doors open. When you follow it, paths clear. And even when you don't, even when you ignore that nudge and take the long road, you are not punished. You are rerouted. Grace reroutes you. Faith recalibrates you. You cannot miss what's meant for you. What your soul signed up for is written in divine law, and divine law cannot be broken. It's not too late. It's not too far. You don't need to be fixed. You only need to listen again. And listening begins in stillness. Not in effort, not in noise, but in quiet surrender. When you become still, you become tuned. And when you are tuned, guidance flows. Ideas arrive, people cross your path, answers land. You don't need to force clarity, you allow it. You don't need to demand signs, you receive them. But to receive, you must release the belief that you are unworthy to be led. You are worthy, not because of anything you've done, but because of who you are. You are divine spirit wrapped in human form, a spark of the infinite, and your birthright is guidance, peace, provision, and purpose. That sense of emptiness you've been running from, it was only the echo of your own intuition calling you home. Every time you choose trust over fear, faith over doubt, you close the gap between who you think you are and who you truly are. And every time you return to stillness, to gratitude, to surrender, you return to the voice that has never left you. You are not behind. You are not late. Divine timing has not failed you. There are no missed buses in the realm of spirit, only perfect unfolding. And the more you affirm this truth, the faster you feel its reality. I now step into my divine path. I now trust the timing of my soul. I now receive guidance with ease. Say it with me. Believe it with me. Let it settle deep into your bones. Because what you believe, you magnetize. What you affirm, you attract. This is not just Pudic talk. It is law. Spiritual law is exact. It is not confused. And it does not delay. When you stop fearing the unknown and start trusting the unseen, miracles find you. The way is made not by struggle, but by surrender. You don't climb the mountain by force. You are carried when you walk in alignment. You are guided when you walk in faith. You are protected when you speak the truth. And you are unstoppable when you remember who you are. You are the soul that knew before you ever forgot. You are the spirit that was whispered into existence with intention. You are the voice and the vessel. You are not waiting for a sign. You are the sign. And if you could only see how guided you truly are, you'd stop worrying and start walking. So walk with your head held high and your heart open wide. Walk with the certainty that heaven itself is behind you. Walk knowing that the next step will appear as you take it. And every time fear comes knocking, answer it with faith. Every time doubt creeps in, meet it with truth. The soul that knows cannot be shaken by shadows, and you, dear soul, are remembering now. And now that you are remembering, you may feel a pull, sacred pull, toward things that don't always make sense to the mind, but feel like home to the soul. That is no accident. That is your compass turning back on. That gentle urge to take a walk without reason, that sudden thought that brings comfort, that image in a dream that stays with you. These are messages, not coincidences. We've been taught to ignore the whispers because they don't come with proof. They don't make a logical case. But the soul doesn't argue, it knows, and what the world calls unreasonable, the spirit calls truth. The world wants you to be efficient. Your soul wants you to be aligned. The world wants outcomes, the soul wants peace. You can have both, but only when you seek the soul first. And when you start choosing your peace over your pressure, when you choose alignment over urgency, the entire landscape of your life shifts. Guidance begins to arrive in the smallest details. You meet the right people at the right time. You hear a sentence that answers the question you never asked out loud. You get delayed and realize the delay was protection. You are not lost. You are being refined. You are not being punished. You are being positioned, because your soul already knows where you are headed, and your higher self is walking you home. The more you lean into this truth, the quieter the fear becomes. The more you affirm that you are divinely guided, the louder your intuition speaks. And it doesn't always speak in words. It may come as energy, as presence, as a gentle peace. It may come as a release from tension you didn't know you were holding. But you will know it by how it feels. Truth always brings peace, even when it challenges you. The soul doesn't lead you into chaos. It walks you through it, because even in the storm, you are never without light. There is a lantern inside of you, and it never goes out. Sometimes it gets dim, clouded by fear, hidden behind layers of conditioning. But it never stops glowing. And the moment you say, "I trust again," the glow becomes a flame. You are not a powerless being hoping for a miracle. You are a miracle with power already inside you. And that power is not ego, it's divine inheritance. You are not trying to become worthy of guidance. You already are. What your soul knows is that all things are working together for your good. Even the delays. Even the disappointments. Even the people who walked away. You don't need to know how it all works. You just need to know that it does. You don't need to figure out every step. You only need to take the next one with faith. When you live this way, something remarkable happens. The anxiety lifts. The tension releases. You begin to feel supported, because you are. And the support isn't always visible. It's energetic. You feel a hand on your back even when you're walking alone. You hear silence that comforts instead of scares. You wake up with a little more hope and a little less heaviness. That is the evidence. You are healing not by doing more, but by remembering more. Your healing is not in becoming. It's in returning. Returning to what was always true. Returning to the part of you that never left source. Returning to the knowing that you are not alone. You never were. And now, with each breath, you get to walk that knowing into your reality. You get to live as if you are guided, because you are. You get to expect clarity, because it's your right. You get to ask for peace and receive it. There is no gatekeeping in divine love. There is only yes. Yes to your return. Yes to healing. Yes to your awakening. And so today say yes back. Say yes to remembering. Say yes to being led. Say yes to trusting that the path is already paved, even if you don't see it. Say yes to miracles. Say yes to the truth that's been rising in you since the beginning of this journey your soul always knew. And now, you do too. There comes a moment in the journey where the fog begins to clear, not because the world changes, but because you do. Because something inside you says, "I remember now. I remember the whispers in the silence. I remember the nudges I used to ignore. I remember that my intuition has always been the map, and that the map was never outside of me." You are not lost. You have never been lost. You've just been listening to the noise instead of the knowing. The world may shout its fears, but your soul always whispers truth. And the moment you sit with yourself in stillness, in trust, in divine remembrance, the path becomes visible. Not because it was missing, but because your eyes finally turned inward. You are being guided right now, this very second. You don't have to do anything to earn it. You don't have to struggle to find it. You don't even have to ask where to go. You only need to believe that you are already being led. Say it with me: I am led, I am held, I am never abandoned, I am on time, I am aligned, and I am divinely guided. These are not just affirmations. These are truths so ancient, your soul knew them before you ever had a name. And even if you forgot, they've been written in light across every experience you've ever had. Nothing has ever truly gone wrong. Even detours were direction. Even silence was instruction. Even waiting was sacred preparation. Even the no was making way for a better yes. Every season of your life has been soaked in divine timing. Every step, even the ones you regret, were part of the remembering. So breathe, let go, and come back to what you've always known: you are not walking alone. Let the wind remind you, it moves even when you cannot see it. So too does divine guidance move on your behalf, even when you feel unsure, even when you're afraid, even when your feet feel stuck. That knowing in your chest that you can't explain. That's not imagination, it's instruction. That pull to call someone, to go somewhere, to say no even though it's easier to say yes. That is spiritual navigation. And the more you trust it, the louder it becomes. The more you follow it, the more miracles line up in ways you couldn't possibly have planned. It's not about force, it's about flow. You are not the planner. You are the receiver. You are not the struggler. You are the channel. And the moment you believe that life is working with you, not against you, everything begins to move differently. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer panic, you pray. You no longer beg, you affirm, because abundance is not out there, it's within. Love is not lost. It's waiting for your readiness. Peace is not a destination, it's a return to the truth of who you already are. The truth is simple: you are deeply loved. You are already worthy. You are enough right now. The part of you that still questions it is the part of you that is healing. So be gentle with yourself. Do not rush the process of remembering. Do not punish yourself for getting. Healing is not a straight line. It is a spiral. And every time you return to the same pain, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you're healing at a deeper level. It means you're ready to see more of the truth. The divine never repeats without purpose. And if you're going through a pattern again, it's because there's gold still to be found within it. You are not stuck. You are being refined. So when the fear rises, meet it with light. When the doubt comes, answer it with faith. When the voice says, "You're not ready," smile and say, "But I am guided." That's your anchor now. Not what they said, not what the world wants, but what your soul remembers. Every sunrise proves this truth, and even after the darkest night, light returns. You are in a season of rising. You may not see the full view yet, but your next step is already known by divine mind. And the more you trust that, the more you lean into faith, the more ease replaces effort. You no longer feel the need to push. Because the door that's meant for you doesn't require force. It opens by faith. And if it stays closed, that too is guidance. That too is love. So trust even the no's. Trust even the endings. Trust even the stillness. Because in the stillness, your soul speaks the loudest. And it is saying now, you are guided. You are loved. You are remembered. You are being brought back to the place within you where everything begins. And in that place, you don't need to figure everything out. You just need to listen. You just need to follow. You just need to believe that the invisible hand of divine intelligence is not only holding you but carrying you to what you already are. Your soul knew before you forgot. And now, in this very moment, you are beginning to remember. And now, dear one, you arrive at the final threshold of this sacred journey, the point where remembrance and manifestation embrace. For your soul has long been guided, even when you thought it forgotten. And now you are rediscovering that truth within every breath, every heartbeat, every quiet knowing that rises like dawn's first light, soft yet unstoppable, illuminating the path you've walked, the steps before you, and the truth that guidance was never lost. It simply awaited your return. Return to stillness, return to faith, return to the place where the divine whispers your name with perfect knowing. And in that place, your feet find the way, your heart recognizes the rhythm, and your mind surrenders the myth of control, because divine orchestration never asks you to push. It invites you to receive, to observe, to trust, and to let unfold what was never meant to be withheld. And so the final invitation appears not as a task, but as a gentle pressure toward letting go, opening your hands and heart to the wisdom that outlasts strategy, the peace that transcends outcome, the joy that blooms in surrender. And you feel it now, the invisible support, the alignment of your entire being with something too grand to contain in human terms, yet so intimate it feels like home. This is your soul remembering. This is grace in full expression, and guidance in its most refined form, because the divine doesn't lead you by force, but by fascination, by delight in discovering your divine design, by whispers that say, "This way, not your way," by signs that beckon with certainty, not compulsion. And each step you take in this remembrance is a dance with the unseen, with intelligence beyond logic, with an invitation to dwell in trust, with a permission to rejoice in the unknown, because even the unknown is known by the one who spoke the stars into existence and breathed galaxies into being. And you are part of that cosmic tapestry, guided by the same hand that longs to carry you, protect you, and glorify your becoming. And as you continue walking, feel it. Feel the soft current of divine presence at your back. Feel the clearing of confusion. Feel the gentle tug of purpose beckoning you forward. Feel the waters of peace rising within and washing away every fear of failure, of forgetting, of being unseen. Because the best part of your journey is not what you've endured. It is what you are now ready to become, the living embodiment of the soul that always knew, the spirit that returned to its source, the heart that chose guidance over grasping, trust over resistance, flow over fear, and so with every fiber of your being. Let this be your concluding declaration. And indeed, Your Honor, I am guided. I trust my path. I follow the whisper of the divine. My soul remembers what my mind forgot, and I walk in peace, purpose, and powerful alignment with my highest good. And now, dear one, embrace this sacred crescendo where your inner knowing rises, where the forgotten song within plays again, where guidance becomes vivid, unignorable, certain. With every breath you remember that your soul knew along, even when your mind wavered, and now you consciously tune into that divine GPS, that still small whisper that has never failed, because guidance does not abandon you. It waits until you choose it again, and when you do, you step into alignment so powerful that your entire life echoes with grace, mercy, clarity, and yes, even miracles, for divine guidance does not always reveal everything, but it always reveals the next step, the right step, the peaceful step. And when you take that step in faith, the next appears, and then the next, until the path is illuminated before you and the fog lifts completely, revealing the truth that not only are you are guided by the same loving intelligence that formed galaxies, that sings through the wind, that whispers through the rustle of leaves on the forest path, that breathes through every sunrise of your heart. And this guidance works through signs, synchronicities, serendipities, those chance encounters that aren't chance, the nudges that interrupt fear, the coincidences that feel like destiny, the words that arrive just when you need them. Even though you didn't ask, because what asks is the mind, but what knows is the soul. And the soul has been listening long before the world ever spoke. Remember that divine guidance is not about fear of getting lost, but the joy of finding your way home. A home not in a place but in a presence that resides within you, that leads you, that loves you unconditionally. And as you breathe into that reality, you begin to operate from a new center, the center of trust, the center of peace, the center of divine memory, saying not out of desperation but out of dignity, I am guided by the infinite, I move with purpose, I exist in grace. And with that internal shift, the world around you begins to correspond to your inner certainty. People become kinder, doors become easier, the right words come with timing, and even challenging seasons reveal their sacred choreography, because divine orchestration is working behind every scene, every season, every setback, even the ones you called failures but were actually reroutes, realignments, redirections toward something more aligned with your soul's script. And so you rise, not from striving, but from surrender. You stand, not from proving, but from remembering. You speak, not out of panic, but out of promise. You walk, not with rushing, but with rest in the knowing that you are never behind, never forgotten, never alone, and every breath affirms it. I am guided. I am protected. I am being led. My soul knew before I ever forgot. Let this be your closing commitment, but truly let it be your opening gesture to every brilliant chapter ahead. Because guidance was never lost, it merely awaited your awakening, and now you are awake. And so I say, walk in peace, shine in gratitude, trust in your inner knowing, live in divine flow, and forever carry the dear truth: you are guided.